Hey guys, so this week we're turning to the interior of the Travelall. Everything from the back doors back in that whole cargo area is a sheet metal interior. And there's a lot of rust repair and a lot of customization that we've got to do to make everything fit with the Tahoe floor pan and interior. So this week, that's what we're turning to. We're going to get straight into that, where I've already done just a little bit of cutting a few months ago. And now we're going to figure out how to fill that hole and fix the rest of it. This is the chunk that was in this corner. You can see just by trying to put it back in how much it's held up. Last time you guys saw this corner here, I was trying to clearance it to go around the edge of the seat. And I've realized that I just hadn't clearanced it enough, and the way the panel was shaped, this portion stuck out from this portion. The best thing I could end up doing to really get all the clearance that I need was just make a new panel that's flat all the way down from here and then rolls into this panel. So that's what we're working on. All I've really accomplished is I cut that free and folded it down. You can see this line here. That's where this used to tip up so that it was level to this seam here. And it came out around here. So we need to now build a new panel to fill these gaps here. And I have yet to figure out exactly what it is that I want to build. So we're just going to start there and get a panel or get a template made up. I got the angle wrong, but I got the shape right. So for the last maybe as much as an hour, I've been working on trying to figure out how to actually fill that gap. And this is what I've come up with. Oh yeah. So, what we're looking at is a piece that fits in here like this. Alright, we're gonna put you guys right there for a second. So what you're looking at is a piece that does that. We've got this big old edge to it, tapering down, then it comes across and up the wheel well, and it'll come up and be welded into all of this. And then this just tries to recreate the curve we have here out to this kind of radius corner to here, and then of course it will become the inverted radius once it gets past there. So that took me quite a bit of time to get put together, but I'm pretty happy with it now that it's there, I think anyway. It's complex, but hopefully I can get it all put together. And then if we look at it from here, where's that light I had? Alright, there we go. So you can see, you try and get back a little bit further. You can see the way it fits, leaves a nice, clean looking gap all the way up. And then if you're looking at it from behind, you can see it leaves a bit of a gap, but even with weight leaning on it, there is actually a gap there. It might touch a little bit, but oh well, so be it. I can put an extra reinforced piece of fabric on the back of the seat right there as a wear point, and it should be fine. I think I'm happy with how all that's working out. And then from the front, just has a nice gap. Hey guys, we've jumped ahead. I was really getting frustrated with how this thing's going together. Even now, it's still not amazing, but I think I'm going to call it good enough. So, let me show you where we're at here. Let me try and keep this cord out of the way. There we go. Good enough. So, that is our new panel there. And you can see I'm actually welding it all back together across the top right now, getting all of this welded in. You can see how big of a gap I still have down here. It's crap, and I am going to go back and do a little more work down there, but for whatever reason, this was just so difficult to do. It's just ridiculous. And then, of course, we'll go back and patch in something across there, fix a few of these holes, so get this thing all back together. However, I have made one critical decision, and that decision is actually based on more that thing over there, the air conditioning and the plumbing I have to build for it. These panels are going to be screw-in. They're going to be removable. I'm going to finish welding this thing in across the top, do a lot of the field welding here, though not all of it. And once we've got that finished up, we're going to take a look at exactly what's the best way to approach that rust line that we have to take care of. A buddy of mine suggested I cut along under that trim way back before I think I made a single cut on the interior. I'm pretty sure I thought I had a good justification for it. I'm pretty sure I'm dumb and I should have just cut it there in the first place. Oh, man. Hey guys, we skipped ahead a little bit. Skipped over some of the boring parts you've seen 100 times by now. So, here we've got that panel cut out. I finished welding in that strip. Finished some bits of welding that were unfinished here. Welded up the various holes. This right here is the piece we cut out of there. You can see that's by far where the worst of the rust was. Put that in the trash. Then looking at the back of this, there's still some rust in here, but this is all really fairly solid metal. It just needs to be cleaned up. At some point, I'm probably going to have to replace this corner where it's rusted out and damaged. We need to cut this flap off that's left from when we just sort of made this piece fit to figure that part out. So now we're going to worry about some of the parts that aren't just standard straightforward. I'm going to get this cut off. You can see this corner does not line up. I've got to fix that. So that's the next couple of items on the menu right now. So that's the next couple of items on the menu right now. So we're just going to go ahead and get started on those. panel set back here in the travelall. We re-welded this upper patch here so that we could attach everything through this and it will be hidden under the trim panel that sits in that window. You can see here, I've tack welded on, you can see the row of tacks along here actually. I've tack welded on just a strip of sheet metal, and that's just for something to screw to so we can attach these two together. And move on to building out this corner because it also needs a way to anchor itself in place. And then go from there. All right, we've got the trim kind of test fit back in place. Looks like there's a little bit of work I'm gonna have to give it. It's not quite working perfectly. I may have pushed this whole panel up in a little bit too far. We will just work this a little bit as we go, and we should be able to get all of that fitting quite nicely. And hopefully all of that over there, once we put that panel back in, will fit pretty much like stock. All right, now to get the rest of it secured. Gonna start down this side, then we'll have to put a few tabs along the bottom. Like pretty much everywhere in the US, the winter's been pretty rough here where I live. There has been a 4-foot tall berm of snow from that side all the way to the other side, completely blocking my garage, my third car garage here, the shop, for like the last 4 months. There's been no way to get this thing out, and so it has just become a complete mess. It's the middle of April, and it's finally melted off enough I can get out. It hasn't melted off. It's melted off enough. So we're going to put the back wheels back on this thing, drive it on out of here, and see about getting a little bit of cleanup done, because this place has become a joke. Well, it's too damn bad I didn't have the camera out in front of the garage instead of hanging so you guys could see all the prettiness as it pulled out. Oh, man. Oh, I'm an idiot. So I was trying to pull out and it wouldn't pull out and I wasn't sure why. And then I realized, wait, maybe I have a block under the front tire. So I got out and checked and it wouldn't move. Instead of being smart and putting it back in gear, or driving it backward just a hair, I thought, I'll just hit the block with a hammer and it should pop out of the way. And I had an inkling of maybe the car will roll forward when I do that, but I was like, nah, it shouldn't be too bad, it's just idling. So I hit the block with the hammer a couple of times, and luckily, it actually turned the wheel straighter a little bit as I did that. And then, my Instacart grocery order pulled up. So I stepped out there to help them unload the groceries. And while I was over at their car in my driveway, suddenly the travel just drove over the block and out of the garage. So I don't know if you guys heard me swearing or not, but I yelled bad words and ran, and as it pulled out, I threw open the front door and dove in and threw it into park real hard. Oh. Luckily, nothing serious happened. It was aimed in such a way that it did not damage the travelall and only did a little damage to my house. So it looks like it might have caught this compressor tank just a hair right there. And then you can see this line. I'm pretty sure that line, yep. I had set the hammer there The travel all caught the hammer and dragged it across, and then it fell down in the gap. Oh man. Oh, that could have been bad. And honestly, that was a stupid decision. If those people hadn't interrupted me, I might have run my stupid ass self over. So, grateful they interrupted me. Grateful it didn't do any serious damage when it popped out of the garage and over that block. You can see the block right there. That's actually one of the original lift blocks for the Travelall from its factory suspension. Oh man, that'll wake you right up. It's so dumb. Oh, anyway, looking back in the garage now, you can see this place is just an utter wreck. So, with the Travelall out, I'm gonna park it somewhere. I do think I want to get it pulled back in tonight. It might snow or rain a little bit during the night, so I do want the Travelall back in here if I can. I have a transmission leak in addition to the fact that it also just is having trouble with certain gears. I have a towel or a shirt hanging on the exhaust. Man, I just want to die right now. Good night. Now my exhaust is vibrating real bad. I wonder why. Ah, there's just a pair of pliers touching it. Oh, man. Well then, after that adventure, I'm gonna go ahead and get to work. So I don't know if in the aftermath of trying to run myself over and then cleaning up the shop, I just didn't get around to taking any footage, or if I've lost it. Honestly, I'm struggling. It's July, and I'm editing footage from March, April, so I'm a little bit behind on where I am in the project. But anyway, I finished making that thing screw in. So you can see here, I went and removed all the rust from the window frame. I actually even pulled the entire window out and ground down and then rust primed and then painted the entire window frame. I also painted the inside of the trim piece that goes all the way around that window. Come on, focus. So there you can see, one of the screws. I put in screw holes all the way down. I apologize if this footage is a little dark, but I put in screw holes all the way down. So I'm going to get that panel removed. There's also, you can see a screw there. There's also one that goes up in here. But I'm going to get those screws removed real quick and just show you guys what I built. So you can see here, I painted this panel as well. This is where it all screws in and tucks up under. And then when you pull the whole off, there, we've got this panel in there that's welded to the door frame. It finishes the door seam and then just has a bunch of holes in it to take those screws. You can see there's two other little screw tabs here, as well as I welded in a piece of, 3/8 by 3/8 angle iron all the way across the middle of that, just to reinforce and strengthen it, and then just put a strip of foam across it so if it's vibrating at all, it doesn't make any noise. And honestly, even though there's no anchors across the bottom there, it's really quite stiff when everything is all screwed together. It's nice and solid, everything's good. While I was at it as well, I welded a bar into there. So that's just kind of a strut support that's holding up part of the window frame and distributing some of that weight down into the wheel well. I don't know if that was necessary at all, but it's something I thought about doing, so I just went ahead and got it done. There behind it, you can see some of the other work that I will talk about in the next episode. Anyway, guys, that's where we're going to wrap this one up with the completion of that interior panel there. I apologize that this episode's a bit all over the place. Like I said, it's July now, and I'm just barely getting around to editing some footage from March, April. So I'm a little bit behind. I kind of got behind at the beginning of the year, and I just haven't caught all the way up yet, but I'm trying to. Videos should be coming out a little more frequently than they have been during the first half of the year, so I'm really trying to improve on that again, get back to catching you guys up to exactly where I am. But progress has continued. I'm quite a bit farther ahead than where this episode is. Anyway, guys, I want to thank y'all for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.